The Aurzen EAZZE D1 and the HAPPRUN H1 are both native 1080p portable projectors, and on the surface they look like they are competing for the same buyer. But how they are designed, what they prioritize, and what they actually deliver in daily use tell a meaningfully different story. Both the EAZZE D1 and the H1 output native 1920 by 1080 resolution, which means neither unit is upscaling a lower resolution signal to fake full HD. What you see is a true 1080p image produced natively by the hardware, and that matters for sharpness, fine detail, and overall image stability. The D1 adds HDR10 support on top of that native resolution. HDR10 is a standardized format that expands the range of brightness and color in a compatible signal. Highlights get brighter, shadows get darker, and color-dense scenes like sunsets or neon-lit cityscapes look richer than standard dynamic range allows. That processing is baked into how the D1 handles content, and it is not a marketing claim. HDR10 is an established technical standard. The H1 does not carry confirmed HDR certification at that level. For casual movie watching in a dark room, both projectors produce a clear and watchable image. For content that was mastered with HDR in mind, most streaming originals and major films, the D1 handles that material the way it was intended to be seen. That difference is subtle in the right conditions and more visible in high-contrast scenes. Edge, Aurzen EAZZE D1, on certified image processing. This is one of the clearest separators between these two projectors, and it is the category that affects day-to-day use more than almost anything else. The EAZZE D1 has a built-in smart TV operating system with officially certified access to Netflix, Prime Video, and YouTube. No external device required. You turn it on, connect to Wi-Fi, and you are streaming within seconds. It also includes an app store, a browser, and a custom app management feature for additional content. The one limitation worth knowing: you cannot download apps outside of the built-in selection. If you rely on Disney+, Apple TV, or Peacock natively, you would need to pair an external stick. But for the three major platforms most people use most of the time, it is all there out of the box. The H1 does not have a built-in smart OS. It is a projector in the traditional sense, excellent image hardware, but dependent on an external device for streaming. It works well with Fire TV Stick, Chromecast, Roku, and similar devices, and the integration is seamless once set up. But that does mean buying and carrying an additional piece of hardware that the D1 does not require. Connecting a smartphone also requires an HDMI adapter that is not included, which adds friction for mobile users. For anyone who wants to unbox a projector, connect it to Wi-Fi, and start watching without buying anything else, the D1 wins this category outright. Edge, Aurzen EAZZE D1 definitively. Budget projector audio tends to disappoint, and it is one of the first things people notice when the novelty of the big image wears off and they are sitting there straining to hear dialogue. The D1 runs dual 8-watt speakers, 16 watts of total output, with Dolby audio and 3D stereo processing. Dolby audio is a certified audio standard, not a loose marketing term, and the 3D stereo processing creates a wider, more spatial sound field that makes the audio feel less like it is coming from a single-point source. For a built-in projector speaker setup, 16 watts of Dolby certified output is genuinely good. Users describe it as room-filling and crisp, which is exactly what you want when you are not running a separate soundbar. The H1 includes built-in hi-fi stereo speakers, and customer feedback on the audio is genuinely mixed. Some users find the sound satisfactory for casual use, while others report that volume output is insufficient for larger spaces or louder content. There is also mixed feedback on Bluetooth connectivity. Some users pair external speakers without issues, while others report connection instability. Both projectors support Bluetooth 5.1 for external audio pairing, which is the go-to solution when the built-in speakers reach their limits. If you are watching in a small bedroom, the H1's built-in audio works. If you are projecting in a larger space or want the built-in speakers to carry the experience without a workaround, the D1 is the more reliable choice. Edge, Aurzen EAZZE D1. Getting a projector perfectly aligned, flat image, no distortion, focused edge to edge, used to be a process. You would adjust, step back, adjust again, and repeat. Smart projectors have largely solved that problem, but not all of them solve it equally. The D1 handles focus and keystone correction automatically. The moment you place it and power it on, it reads the surface and corrects the image within seconds, vertical and horizontal keystone up to 15 degrees in each direction. It also includes auto obstacle avoidance, which detects objects crossing the projection path and adjusts around them, and auto screen alignment, which fits the image to your screen or wall regardless of your exact positioning. Zoom is adjustable from 50 to 100% without physically moving the unit. The practical result is that setup takes about 30 seconds regardless of where you put it. The H1 is a more hands-on setup experience. It projects a clear image, but alignment and focus adjustments are more manual. For a fixed, permanent installation where you set it once and leave it, that is manageable. For a projector you pick up and move between locations, backyard one night, bedroom the next, the D1's automated corrections save real time and frustration every single use. Edge, Aurzen EAZZE D1, on setup speed and intelligence. Both projectors cover the fundamentals: HDMI input, USB ports, and Bluetooth 5.1 for external audio. Both are compatible with game consoles, laptops, streaming sticks, and standard external devices. The D1 runs dual-band Wi-Fi on 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz, with the 5 GHz band reducing network interference and supporting faster streaming speeds for high bitrate content. It also supports multiple mounting configurations: ceiling, tabletop, tripod, and wall mount via a standard 1/4-inch screw hole, giving it real flexibility for different room setups and outdoor use. The H1 smartphone connection requires an HDMI adapter for wired mirroring, and wireless mirroring for Android users without MHL support requires a Chromecast, neither of which are included. For users who primarily want to mirror a phone to a big screen, that extra step is worth knowing before you buy. The H1 does connect cleanly with Fire TV Stick and Chromecast once those are in hand. It is more of a frictionless external device experience than a standalone one. EAZZE D1 on wireless capability and mounting versatility. Both projectors are compact and genuinely portable, light enough to carry in a bag, small enough for a bedroom shelf or a backpack. Neither requires a dedicated room or a permanent setup. For camping trips, backyard screenings, dorm rooms, or travel, both units are manageable. The H1 is notably compact even by portable projector standards, which makes it a strong candidate for people whose primary use case involves carrying the projector frequently or fitting it into tight spaces. Its simplicity, no OS overhead, no app ecosystem to manage, also means the hardware can stay lean. EAZZE H1 on compact form factor, both are genuinely portable. Projector brightness claims across the industry are notoriously unreliable. Numbers get inflated, testing conditions vary, and buyers end up with projectors that look great in a pitch-black room but wash out the moment any ambient light enters. The D1 addresses this directly with SGS certification under ANSI/ISO 21118 standards, an independent, third-party verification of its actual brightness output. That certification is rare at this price tier and means the brightness the D1 advertises is the brightness it actually delivers under standardized testing conditions. The H1 has mixed customer feedback on brightness. Some users find it strong, others find it insufficient in anything but a fully darkened room. Without independent certification, there is no standardized baseline to measure against. If controlled brightness accuracy matters to you, and it should, since brightness is what makes or breaks daytime or ambient light viewing, the D1's verified output is a meaningful advantage. EAZZE Aurzen EAZZE D1 on verified brightness credibility. The H1's value at $100 is real and should not be dismissed. For a first-time projector buyer who primarily wants a big screen experience in a dark bedroom, already owns a Fire TV stick, and does not need a built-in OS or Dolby audio certification, the H1 delivers a clean 1080p image at a price that removes almost all financial risk. It is one of the more accessible entry points into native full HD projection, and customers who set their expectations correctly consistently describe it as excellent value for money. The D1's built-in app ecosystem, while genuinely useful, has a ceiling. You cannot install apps beyond what the OS and App Store natively support. For viewers who rely on a wider range of streaming services, Disney+, Apple TV, Peacock, ESPN+, the D1 will require an external streaming stick to access those platforms. That is not a deal breaker, but it is a real constraint that buyers should account for before purchasing. The Aurzen EAZZE D1 wins this comparison, and the reasoning is consistent across almost every category we covered. The HAPPRUN H1 is $50 cheaper, and for that saving you give up the smart OS, the Dolby certification, the automated image correction suite, and the verified brightness. For buyers who are deeply budget constrained, already own a streaming stick, and want a simple 1080p projector for a darkroom, the H1 is a reasonable path. Both projectors are linked in the description below. Go check current pricing. If you want to know exactly what you are getting before you spend $1 on your next tech purchase, hit subscribe. This channel is built to protect your buying decisions. The D1 takes this one. You have got your answer. Go enjoy the big screen.